If I had to narrow down my favorite part about the show, it would have to be the writing. It's great. The dialogue actually sounds more genuine and real than most pieces of voice acted media I have seen in quite some time. The characters actually speak like real people. They have legitimate conversations and speak just as you would expect anyone to talk. What I mean by this is that most kids' cartoons I've seen have dialogue that is laughable at best. It's as if the lines are just there to move the plot along. But that's not the case with Friendship is Magic. It's as if the plot moves by itself and the characters just go along with it, reacting naturally as anyone would. The humor in the show is generally slapstick comedy, which is pretty much standard for kids' cartoons. It's innocent fun, and surprisingly enough, there have been multiple occasions where I've caught myself laughing at some of the jokes. It's nothing that's going to leave you in stitches, but if you loosen up and take the show for what it is, you may catch yourself enjoying it. Don't get me wrong though, the writing is certainly not Shakespeare, but for a kid's cartoon, it's remarkable. Now that you know the more technical aspect of it, I'm sure you're wondering what is it about the show that makes it so popular? Why is My Little Pony Friendship is Magic becoming such an internet legend? I mean, sure it's a good show in its own merit, but why does the internet love it so much? The show's rise to fame traces back to 4chan. The cartoon board responded to a negative essay that was written about the show, in which the author, Amid Amidi, claimed that the current state of animation trends are nothing more than a marketing tool that companies use to sell their products to kids. The nature of this essay sparked interest in the cartoon on this blog, which soon spread to the B board, as well as many other boards on the site. The sudden flood of pony-related memes and posts escalated to a point where it was temporarily banned from 4chan altogether. Although the ban was later lifted, that didn't stop the fans from creating their own boards and sites to discuss the show in the meantime. From that point on, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic would spread far and wide across the internet, spawning sites like PonyChan and Equestria Daily. It was just a matter of time before the surprise hit impacted more well-known sites such as Google, DeviantArt, fanfiction, and of course YouTube. So that explains where it came from, but what is it about the show itself that people, including the users on 4chan, find so fascinating? Well, truth be told, I don't have an answer for that. There's no solid or unanimous reason that explains why people, especially full-grown men, enjoy it. It all boils down to tastes and personal preferences. Some will tolerate it, some will simply enjoy and support the fandom of it, like me. Some will absolutely obsess over it, which such behavior has granted them the commonly used nickname bronies. And on the opposite side of the spectrum, some will despise it and view it as a cancer to the internet. But regardless of whether you're part of the herd or against it altogether, there's no denying that this simple cartoon has spawned a following the likes of which the internet hasn't seen in quite some time. From the endless YouTube fan videos to the images, fan art, fan fiction, websites, memes, and message boards, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic has a culture that is, albeit a bit overwhelming, undoubtedly solid. I implore anyone who hasn't seen the show to watch it first. Give it the benefit of the doubt before you decide if you like it or hate it. The reaction is different among each and every person who is familiar with it. Even if you watch it, despise it, and feel like you wasted 20 minutes of your life by watching it, you'll at least understand what MLP does and why people enjoy it, and you may feel slightly more tolerant of it as a result. It is at this time that I would like to shift things to a more personal note, because I'm sure many are probably curious about it if they haven't pieced it together already. And I believe it takes a true man to admit it in front of others, so I will declare it right now. I am a 17-year-old guy, and I love My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, and I don't care if people find that strange or disturbing. My favorite character is Spike. He's energetic, loyal, lovable, and he's hilarious. His ridicule at the misfortune of others, coupled with his witty and sarcastic remarks, and his childlike innocence is why I enjoy him so much. My favorite episode so far has to be Season 2, Episode 1, The Return of Harmony, because Discord isn't even a villain. He has no desires to enslave or torture others and take over the world. Instead, he enjoys manipulating them by attacking their personal weaknesses. Discord enjoys mocking the traditional and orderly aspects of life with his own twisted sense of humor and ideas about what reality should be like. Discord isn't a traditional big-time villain. He's a troll, just messing with some very gullible individuals, and for that I love him. But as I was saying previously, I love this show. I support what it does, and am proud to be part of a fandom as passionate and sociable as this one. You can go ahead and stereotypically categorize me as a brony for being a guy and liking it, but that accusation has little bearing on truth since my admiration for the show does have its limits. I love watching and discussing it, but that's as far as I go. There are people out there who take their fascination with this show to an unnecessary level. But just remember that you'll find these people in any fanbase, not just My Little Pony. Bronies are just the MLP equivalent to the overly obsessive fans in any other fanbase of popular media out there. And believe it or not, there are some sane fans out there. And believe me, we dislike the bronies just as much as the haters do, if nothing more than for the reputation they give the entire fanbase as a whole. But before you cast me off as a biased pony lover and click away from the video, I'm not quite finished yet. I can't deny that before a friend convinced me into sampling the show, I too was skeptical and unsupportive of it. I thought this whole thing was just a passing trend. For a while, I believed that guys watched My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic purely for the shock value that comes with the notion of a guy watching and enjoying a little girl's show. I assumed that people only enjoyed the humorous image they received from their viewers if they admitted to liking My Little Pony. But now that I have given it a chance and found an interest in it, much to my surprise, my only request is that you do the same. If you have even the slightest interest in the show, if it intrigues you in any way, watch a few episodes and then give your opinion on it. I say a few episodes because in my opinion, the first and second episodes were somewhat lackluster compared to the rest of the series, and I don't want you to be turned off too early by them due to possible mediocrity. If you watch a few episodes and decide that you just don't like it, that's perfectly acceptable, and no one should think any less of you because of it. It's okay to like or dislike this show, because we are all different and have different tastes and interests. As long as you give it a chance and you can logically defend your views on the show, then all is right in the world, in a matter of speaking. If you like the show, don't be afraid to admit it. It doesn't make you weird for liking it, unless you want to make it weird by taking it to a rather distasteful level, shall we say. Disregard what others think of it, especially if you find that they can't logically back up their defense. No one can tell you what you should like better than yourself, especially if they can't bring up any solid reasons to hate it. Regardless of which side of the perpetual war between fans and haters you land on, one thing is certain. My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic is here now and is widely popular and adored by both the target audience and an older demographic, much to the pleasant surprise of the Friendship is Magic team. Love it or hate it, the show is going to stay popular for quite some time. But whether or not it is worthy of the praise it gets lies in the eye of the beholder. And on that note, I'd like to bring this analysis to a close. Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, this is Brawlmaster012 saying thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.